while we log in. But anyways, yeah, we're basically just going to be talking about what to do today with Lightfall. I'm going to show all the helpful websites that I use on a day-to-day basis. So LightGG, like I said, when you're looking up an item like Retrofit Escapade, this is going to give you a breakdown of everything about the gun, stats, curated roles, gives you perk combinations. It kind of gives you a breakdown of what each of these symbols mean: PvE, PvP, and PvE, PvP. The gold ones are usually just best all around. If you want to get more specific, or maybe you feel the weapon is interacting in a way that you don't like and you want to adjust something or use a different perk combo, it shows everything here. Personally, I like the 4 times the charm and target lock. I feel like that's the best role, honestly, right now. But yeah, gives you popular trait combos, what they drop with, all the other, basically anything you want to know about the weapon. This shows me what I have right now that's on my hunter. Yeah, anyways, has been basically anything you want to know about the weapon. So if you want to look up something, look up the god rolls. This is really awesome. Roll appraiser is really awesome. Give you your inventory or your vault and show you everything in your vault. I tried to delete it again on my fucking streaming PC. It'll show you everything in your vault. If you want to look up certain items, or if you want to just scroll through all the items you have, it'll show everything in inventory, just like Dim does, which I'll go over that here in a second. Shows you all your items, your rolls. Some of these I just kind of keep because it's the novelty. Like when I did the Master of King's Fall, I wanted to keep just the drops that I got because those are just, you can't get those again unless they're dropped. Yeah, good way to kind of keep track of all your gear. And then real time, it updates all the items that you're getting real time. But a really good website. LightGG is awesome. It's just light.gg. You do have to sign up or sign in to your Bungie account, what you saw me doing earlier. Once you sign in, you're good. I would say keep it on a separate PC if you have another PC. If not, I'm sure it's going to bog down your bandwidth a little bit. Probably not a whole lot. Depends on what you run. You know what I mean? Use it at caution, depending on what you're doing, what your setup is. Obviously, keep that in mind. Destiny Inventory Manager, again, I can't imagine not using this now. And I'm surprised that I played the game just for years without using this. Like, it's insane. But you can literally transfer pretty much anything in the game that you have on your vault, on your character, within your characters. Has everything broken down that you have in your vault by your class. Like, look, I have a bunch of just extra exotics that most of them I don't use a lot, or I have an extra roll in case something else changes later on down the road. If you've played Destiny for any number of years, you know that Destiny and Bungie, they like to change things. What may not have been really good at one point will be good at a different time. They'll change how stats work. They'll change how items work. They're constantly updating and evolving the game, which is nice. It gets annoying after a little point, but whatever. I digress. But point is, Destiny Inventory Manager is just absolutely amazing. Shows you your stats. Look at this. Real time shows everything in your materials. It is so cannot stress amazing for moving into anything in your inventory. I'll just give you an example. Let's say I want to run stasis on my warlock. I'm going to move my Agar Scepter over, and then just build on that, right? Like that's on my warlock. Let's move it to my hunter. There we go. And say I want to run stasis and make a stasis build using Agar Scepter. I can do that. And just as quickly as it's there, again, you can remove it. Super easy. Just take it out and it's gone. The only other thing that I would mention is Discord and using the Destiny Look for Group channel. I'm sure there are tons of people who don't know about this or who think that Destiny 2, you have to have people you can play with. That is completely untrue. All you need is Discord, and you need to join the Destiny 2 Looking for Group channel. I'm going to pull it up right now so you know what it looks like. So Destiny 2 Looking for Group. It's going to have this icon, and then you're just going to go through and follow up. I believe you have to sign into your Bungie. So this has literally anything you may possibly need. Shows you how to sign up. They have obviously their own little things, server information, game information, social stuff, streamers if you stream. And then this is where everything that you possibly need to do any content in the game is available for you. From PvE, and look at these PvE channels, right? You have story campaign, right? Like right now, let's say you want to go farm some master alloys, right? And do the story campaign. You can find a group. Look at it. There's people posting currently right now. Let's say you want to find a Sherpa. There's a raid that you want to do that you've never done, that you don't have any friends or anybody that you play with on a regular basis that you know of. There's people in here that are posting pretty regularly. Look at this. These are all pretty recent ones, right? Like these are just people having a conversation like, oh, looking for Val. Look at that. There's looking for 3 more doing Vault of Glass. If you've never done it, they're in Raid Room 78. Raid rooms are just specific channels that you can go to. Let's go to 78, right? So you go to 78, you would join the channel, you just click it, and then you have a mic. Having a mic helps. You go in there, and then you can talk to the people, and they'll teach you how to do the raid, and they'll take their time. They'll teach you. These people they love doing this stuff most of the time, and so they're usually very, very patient. They're not expecting they're going to get it the first try. I mean, I've run a couple of Sherpas myself, and it's just a really, really good place to learn the new raids or even old raids. There's some raids that I've never even done. That if I ever needed to do it, I would probably find a Sherpa first, or watch a video until I felt comfortable that I knew what I was doing. But yeah, look, and then they have raid specific one, King's Fall, Val the Disciple, Vault of Glass, Deepstone Crypt, Garden of Salvation, Last Wish. And that's just for the raids, right? Like if you want to do altars, maybe you're doing altars and wells and you're farming those for certain recipes, Dares of Eternity, dungeons, your dualities, your fucking spire, all of those, the dungeons. Like let's say we go to the dungeons, right? There's people doing all the different ones, right? Let's say somebody's doing the spire fresh, someone doing grasp of avarice. There's people doing all sorts of stuff all the time. Like somebody just posted this. It's a fresh grasp of avarice. Look at that. Spire Master. Again, people are always certain for doing stuff. If you want to do hunts, Nightfalls, Grandmasters, Master Farms, Open World. If you ever want to do a bounty dump, Open World's the best. It's the channel to go to. There is a guy, and I'm shouting out this person, Phenomenal. Do I still have it up? No, okay, I don't. So I have this guy right here. So this guy right here. So Phenomenal J. I'm actually gonna join him right now. Let's join him right now. So this guy, Phenomenal J, and that's his join code, right? Join Phenomenal J number 6024. This guy, literally all he does is he keeps a virtual machine up and he keeps this character in game all the time. Once the new seasons come out, he gets to level 86 because that's the maximum XP boost, right? And then he just stays in game and you can join him at any time. And do a bounty dump so you can get the maximum XP every single time, right? So you look at, he has a little automated system that says, hey, you want to contribute, here's the Discord, blah, 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 blah. But it's Phenomenal J number 6024. Really, really awesome. And he's always going to level to 86 at the very beginning of a new season. He's going to do it definitely in the new expansion. So I just keep it handy and I put it in a little notepad. So whenever I need it, I literally just join up. Don't have to worry about him not being there. And I can turn in bounties. Like I need to turn in one bounty, right? Because I'm a little too much on mine. So then let's do, what can I do that won't be a big deal? Let's do 1 and then 2. And I just got the maximum XP because I joined this guy who was level 06, Phenomenal J, right? And he just stays there. That's literally all he does. Dude's super awesome for always doing that. But yeah, he's always there. A really good way to do a bounty dump is that and join Phenomenal J. So let's go back to the Discord, right? So Discord, again, if you're looking for seasonal content, let's say you're doing the heist, right? Let's say you want to find a group that you're just doing heist super, super fucking quick. Maybe you're doing the new Seraph Shield. Exotic quests, you can do that. Strikes, let's say you want to find a team that's just farming a specific strike, right? Maybe you're just doing a specific GM. Yeah, any of that stuff, right? Then there's PvP channels. And then if you want to do like Iron Banner, let's say you're doing Trials, Gambit, whatever. And then they have separate fire rooms or like rooms where you can go into and join. Like let's go into Raid Room 10, right? Let's say I wanted to go into Raid Room 10 and then I want to start finding a group myself. I've already reserved this room. So that means that I can tell people I'm in Raid Room 10, join me, looking for more, and then I give them my join code. But yeah, the Destiny 2 looking for group, There is no excuse for anyone saying that they can't play with somebody because of this. And you're always going to find somebody in here. Always, 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 always. Whenever I'm doing content and I want to find a group, I always use this. And I never, ever have a problem finding a group with this. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right. So now that we've got some websites that are some good websites. Oh, there was one other website. I forgot to go over it, which is Destiny Recipes. Okay, so we're back. All right, so Destiny Recipes. This thing is really amazing too. I'm going to blow this up. But Destiny Recipes is awesome because it's a good way to tell how prepared you are for the new season, or in this case, the new expansion, which will be Lightfall. So it gives you a seasonal checklist, right? It was super awesome. And same thing, you'll have to log in through your Bungie account. And then after you log into your Bungie account, you're just logged in. So it's really cool. And you've heard me talk about this previously on some other streams, which is bounty hoarding and hoarding bounties. And Destiny still hasn't changed this, and they still haven't updated. Like, it's still not beneficial to do. So people do this. Do you need to do this? No. I always do it because I like to have the power bonus, just in case I'm slacking a little bit on my grinding for gear and I don't have enough power level. It's a good way for me to get passive power level through my artifact, which is really nice. But I also like to get as many unlocks as I can early in the season. That way I can have the champion mods and then try out some of the new stuff that may make a build like really OP, because that varies. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. Sometimes shit's really broken, like it was in Witch Queen when it came out. I forgot what perk it was that everybody used. Particle Devastation, I think is what it was called, and gave you just like an insane debuff and boosted your damage, and everybody was using it. Or you always wanted one person using it in the group. No matter what, you always wanted one person using it. But it's a good way to unlock that. Like, see, for me, I almost have everybody maxed out, except for my hunter, a few of them. But I always have close to the maximum amount. You want to leave yourself 3 bounty slots because the new bounties that come out for the new expansion, they usually require 1, 2, or sometimes 3. So it's always good to keep 3 slots open. But like, look, it shows me how much XP I've saved. I have saved 1,762,720 XP, which is about 17 and a half levels on the season pass. So that means if day 1, when Lightfall comes out, and I don't have any other bonuses minus my Ghost Shell, and then what I'm going to get in the season pass, and then my well rested, because it factors all that in right here. You can see that right here, which is fucking awesome. It factors all that in. It's telling me about how much XP I'm going to get, which is pretty accurate. So that means I'm going to get 17 and a half levels. I'll be able to unlock 10 slots on 10 mods on my artifact, and I'll get a +6 bonus on my artifact power. So it literally breaks down everything. It's cool because it shows you all of the bounties too, right? You want to prioritize weekly bounties first. And then if you have a guild that you can do a lot of these are really good ones. The Dares of Eternity, the weekly ones are really good. Anything with a ++ on its XP, you want to prioritize those first. Once you've done all the ones that you can do, then just do your regular daily ones. The weekly ones, so there's going to be the Cosmodrome, the Dares of Eternity. You have your, what's his name? The guy in Europa who offers weekly. He has 2 weeklies. You have your Dreaming City weeklies. You have your Moon weeklies through Eris Morn. She has 4 in total. Only if you've done Forsaken and Shadowkeep. Then if you've done all of Shadowkeep, you have all of her weeklies done. If you've never done it, then you're not going to be able to get hers. Do those. And then there's the weekly, the guild ones. The guild ones offer weekly clans, also are double plus XP. So those are really good too. And then all your other daily ones, but you can easily fill it out I've noticed, for me, and this is if you do it casually, it might take a week or 2 extra, but around 3 weeks, you can get away with starting this about 3 weeks prior. So this is actually the best time right now to start hoarding bounties and just start going through the weeklies. Once you do all the weeklies, start doing your dailies. I always do Banshees first because you're going to get enhancement cores, which is really nice. So I always do his first. And then I start with And you can just do this whatever you like first, right? Like I always do the Vanguard. I always do the strikes first. And then when I fill up those and I can't do any more, then I move to PvP. And then I save Gambit for last because I hate Gambit. Keep in mind, there's also the ones that are specific to the zone. So like if you go to the Throne World, what's his name? Fern Fizz, whatever his name is. What's the ghost name? This guy? I don't know. Either way, you have his bounties. You have the seasonal bounties, old seasonal bounties that you can technically hoard. There's a bunch of bounties you can easily max out, and you're not going to do all of them. There's no way. But around 3 weeks is a good time to start hoarding the bounties. But again, this website really just breaks it down, and then it also shows you what resources you have, vault space, and it grades it based on how you're doing. Like me, it says I'm overkilling it because I have tons of resources. I have a shit ton of resources, a shit ton of vault space. Let's go down to my vault. So it shows me all my vault space. This is the empty. These yellow ones, these are all, I'll show you on dim. These are all fucking, what do you call this? Sparrows. So if you want to hoard Glimmer, because there's going to be a point where you're just making so much Glimmer, you're going to max out. And you can't really spend it on anything except for maybe like banners. But even then, like I have almost 200 banners. Like I don't need more than that. There's no reason to have more than that. There's no reason more to have 100. 200 is playing it safe, but like, yeah. But you can hoard Glimmer and shards by buying this specific sparrow. It's called the Other Side. I'll show it in game in your collections. So if you go to your collections, let's say you have maxed out Glimmer and you want to hoard it. You're going to go to the sparrows, go to equipment, go to sparrows. You're going to go down to, I believe, is it 3? Yeah, it's season 3. And then you're going to buy this for 7,500 Glimmer and 5 shards, right? And by doing that, you're hoarding your Glimmer. Now, you don't get all of it back, but you get most of it. You get the shards back. So it's another way to hoard shards as well. But when you dismantle this, and you'll just throw it in your vault, kind of how I do. I have 2 pages full of it. You get back 5,000 Glimmer and 5 shards. So you get all your shards back. That's 100% return. And you get 2/3 of your Glimmer back. So again, that's a good way to hoard Glimmer. And that's why for like in my vault, I have so many. I don't even know how many that is. Does it show me how much stored Glimmer I have on this? It does not. I wonder if it does on Destiny recipes. Probably not. Either way, that is a shit ton of sparrows. I probably don't need that. I think I have over 1 million hoarded, if I remember correctly. I swear I thought there was a page that showed you Glimmer. I swear I thought it showed you your stored Glimmer. Or maybe I'm just, I don't know. Either way. But yeah, a good way to store Glimmer and shards for yourself. If you didn't know this about enhancement cores, let's say you need enhancement cores. So let's say you have a bunch of, you'll need a decent amount of prisms for this, but you can get those from Nightfalls, even just the ones you use in matchmaking. They drop relatively regularly. But let's say you need shards, right? So we're going to go to leveling, and we're going to go to just any one of the leveling ones. We're just going to buy, let's just buy the cloak, or let's buy this cloak. Yeah, let's buy this cloak, right? All right, so I bought that for 777 Glimmer. All right, so what you're going to do, and this is for enhancement cores again, so you're going to buy, so you're going to invest 1 core, 2 cores, so we're at 3 cores, right? And then now you're going to use prisms, so that's another, so it's 3 prisms, right? So 1 prism, 2 prism, so that's 3 prisms, right? So then what you're going to do is dismantle it. And when you dismantle it, you're going to get 1 prism back. So you only spent 2 prisms, and you're going to get 6 cores back. So you make a net profit of 3 cores. Now, that is the best way to farm cores if you don't want to actually go through and do that. Mind you, again, you have to have some prisms. Mind you, it's a net loss of prisms of you're using 2 prisms to gain 3 cores, essentially. And you're using a little bit of Glimmer, 777 Glimmer. So not a lot. But it's a good way to get cores if you have a surplus of prisms. If you look at my dim, I have probably too many prisms. I have 162 That's about 50 on my actual window. So like when you look at the window on my inventory, this is just like the general inventory, right? And then it has a breakdown of like what's in my postmaster. Because when you go to your postmaster, I'll show you this. When you go to your postmaster, anything on a surplus that you have of certain items will just get stored in your postmaster. So it's a good way to hoard even more of a certain resource. Let's say your ascended shards. Let's say you want to farm a bunch of ascended shards, do a bunch of grandmasters because they drop all the time. There's other ways you can get ascended shards, but if you want to just do it really quick, just run some grandmasters. Once you reach 10, anything beyond that you get, it's going to automatically go to your postmaster, and the most that it will store in your postmaster is what you can carry in your general inventory. So in this case, it's 10. So if we let's take a look at my warlock, right? I have 7 extra golf balls that I have, because they call them, that's just a nickname, the golf balls that I have in my postmaster. So if I run throughout my general inventory, I can just go to the tower. Or in this case, I'm on my hunter. And I can get my extra prisms. I even have spoils of conquest, extra alloys, extra upgrade modules. I'll go over that in a second, how I actually got those in my inventory, because you can't really do that, I want to say easily, but you have to do it a specific way. But all my extra stuff, exotics even. So if you're farming exotics, you want to just have exotic engrams in your inventory just in case you ever want to get different rolls. This is a good way to do it. But if your inventory is full on engrams and you get an exotic, it's going to go to your postmaster as an exotic engram, right? And it'll show you what your possible rolls are. Let's say I'm chasing I want to get a better roll on my Gemini Jesters, right? Then I have a possibility of getting that and any other exotics. But it's a good way to kind of potentially get different rolls. But yeah, it stores all of this just in your inventory. You do have to keep an eye on your postmaster, right? Because if you're getting a bunch of blues, I mean, you won't get blues now, but it's a good way to kind of store everything in there. Now, for the upgrade modules, this is a cool little trick that I learned from several content creators. But if your upgrade modules are full, which is at 25, if you have 25 upgrade modules, and same thing, if you get an additional upgrade module, then it goes into your postmasters. Those are a little bit harder to come by, but if you do just even strikes or nightfalls, you can put on this mod on your ghost and it has a chance to award an upgrade module. And then when you get it, because you can actually carry it in your inventory, it's going to store it in your postmaster. Kind of what you saw on here at the postmaster. I had 2 upgrade modules just chilling in my thing. I never try to use those unless I absolutely need to. As you can see, I have so many extra resources that I could literally just buy them, so I don't really worry about it anymore. But if a new player, you do want to have to worry about it, yeah, that is something that you can go in and, you can buy them. You can also buy upgrade modules over here if you want to max them out before the expansion. You just go to Banshee, and they changed the cost of these in this past season. It only takes 1 enhancement core, 10 shards, and 5,000 Glimmer. If you're like me and you have a shit ton of everything, you can buy these without any kind of worry of ever losing them. So, but yeah, always, that's a good way to kind of store the items. I think that's pretty much everything with the dim. So, and then now, let's get out of here. Yeah, let's see. We went over the websites, all the cool things and how to prep. Let's go over some items that you want to prep, right? Most of these are craftable, right? And I want to go over the big ones. Even though linear fusion rifles are getting a nerf, I would still say it's a very good idea to get one. At the minimum, and probably the easiest one to get, is the Taipan. There is a quest that you can do, and by doing the quest, you get the Taipan recipe. I would say it's the easiest linear fusion rifle to get. Just do the quest. If you don't want to farm the disciple for this one, I understand it takes time. Fire and forget, it is a seasonal one, so you have to get lucky with the drops, or you can do the dailies and get it. Again, this is by far the easiest one. I would say just the one you want to get. I'm just going to do my best pick for each of these, each one that you should probably get. And it should be the Taipan. Machine guns. I think machine guns are going to be really big in Lightfall. That's just my own speculation there. I would say if you're going to get one, Retrofit Escapade is just the seasonal one. You don't have to do a raid for it. Probably the easier one to get. I would say, and this happened last week, so I don't know if it's going to happen again this season, but Deepstone Crypt, if it ever comes back on a rotation for the raid, I would say farm Atrax, and you could get the recipe from that after several runs. Really easy to do. Again, just use the Destiny Looking for Group channel. But if you don't want to do any raids and just farm it on your own, Retrofit Escapade, really good perk combo. Commemoration, I think, is a little bit better because it can get killing tally, but Retrofit Escapade is still really good. Rocket Launcher, I would say if you're going to get one, go for Bump in the Night. That is an old seasonal weapon from Season of the Haunted. Same thing now. They changed it in this past week where you can get daily red borders just by buying it from the vendor, essentially. Mind you have to have the specific energies in order to buy them, depending on what season you're doing. Plundered is for, I don't remember what it was of last season. Opulent was the season before. Seraphic is this one. Risen was from Witch Queen. But as long as you have these materials and some Umbral engrams, you can get them. You may have to farm the activities to get them either way. Yeah. And then let's see. Let's go back. So I would say definitely those three. Swords, you can get away with not really having a good sword. If you can get it still, you have to just keep an eye out with Banshee. A really good Falling Guillotine is a really good DPS sword. It's really strong. If you can get it, Tireless Blade and Whirlwind Blade is the god roll there. And then just put on whatever mod you want. That's a really good sword. Grenade launchers, I would say for grenade launchers, the Wendigo. I don't even know if I have a Wendigo. Let me look. Wendigo's a really good one. I think next week I should be able to farm that. Yeah, I'm going to farm that next week. It's going to be on the next rotation for Nightfalls. I'm probably going to farm that because it's a really good grenade launcher. Let's go over here. Wendigo. Yeah, Wendigo. It's an arc, but the perk pull combination on this is fucking sick. And next week, I believe it is going to be in the Nightfall, so you'll be able to get an Adept if you want to do the GM, or if you want to just do the normal Master, you can farm the regular. It is nice to have the Adept perks, but it's not necessary. Usually, it's not going to really affect damage. It's more so the stats that are really more upped on the Adept versions. Either way, that's a really good one. All right. And then for the specials, Fusion Rifle, they've never really been meta. I would say just find a good DPS one. Like, do I have it on this character? No, I don't. Find a really good, which one was that? Cartesian. So I'll put this one. This was a god roll a while ago with, and this was like main DPS was using the Cartesian. I think it was with Particle Devastation. You get a linear with this and it just wrecked. They're not super popular right now, but they could come back. You never know. I would say that'd be a really good fusion rifle to have. Glaives, they've never been meta. I have most of them. I'm actually going to farm this later today, actually. Glaives, they've never really been meta. If you can get the Forbearance, god tier, best grenade launcher in the game, in my opinion. There's nothing that's better than this. This thing is fucking sick. The god roll, like the actual roll on this, and I'm actually going to upgrade this once I farm some more harmonics. But the god roll for this is basically this right here. The Ambitious Assassin Chain Reaction, the best, the most ridiculous grenade launcher for ad clearing. And then the Soul Drink is really good. You do have to farm the raid for that. It is from Val the Disciple. I would say wait until the rotation if you want. If you can't get to that, you can always farm Dares of Eternity for Dares of Eternity for Pardon Our Dust. That's a good one. Explosive Personality is a really good one too. That was a seasonal one back with Witch Queen. That's a really good one too. Forbearance, if you can get it, really good. Shotgun, there, shotgun meta could come back. That's why I farmed the Heritage. Back when Beyond Light came out, there was the double shotgun meta where it was 2 precision shotguns, which are slug shotguns. So you'd have Heritage in your primary slot, and then you'd have your last in, last out on your special. And it was just literally, you were just rotating, unload with the Heritage, go back and unload with the first in, last out. Because Heritage with Reconstruction can regenerate ammo, you could go back to that. And then if you needed to reload, you'd reload at that point. And that was on A-Tracks. That was back when Beyond Line came out and Deepstone Crypt came out. That was the meta back then. Will it be meta again? You never can tell with Destiny and Bungie. They like to change shit up. But if you can farm Heritage, I would say out of everything, best one to get. Again, you do have to farm Deepstone Crypt. That was last week. I don't know if it's going to be again this season. If you can't do that, just run it and run Deepstone Crypt and, try to buy it. If you did it from here on out, you get close to it, unless you get lucky with your drops. But God tier shotgun, ridiculous. It's really ridiculous in PvP too with a different role. Reconstruction Recombination is the God tier role with this one. Sniper Rifle, Thoughtless is amazing. That was Season of the Risen with Witch Queen. You can just farm the activity to try to get the recipes. You can actually buy these on the daily. If you go to the helm and go to the vendor, you can just buy these daily. Again, you have to have the resources. Other than that, I would say Succession is the next one. It's probably a toss-up. I'd say Succession is going to be more powerful, but you do have to farm Deepstone Crypt. If you don't want to farm that, I would say get the Thoughtless, really good. And then Trace Rifles. These have never really been meta, but I like to get these anyways. I actually really love Trace Rifles. I wish they were more powerful as like Forbearance is. I wish that these were actually more powerful because, hey, is anyone on D1 on Xbox? Maybe. Yeah, there's still people on Xbox. I'm pretty sure like the Destiny 2 looking for group, you could find somebody. But anyways, yeah, I wish these were as powerful as like Forbearance. I wish that like when I used a Trace Rifle, it felt like using Forbearance. Like it's just great for ad clearing because they're super fun. I love the idea of Trace Rifles, but you don't really necessarily need these. I don't think these will ever be meta unless they fundamentally just up the damage on these tremendously. You know what I mean? And then now we're going to go into primaries. For auto rifles, I would say if I had to pick the Amat AR2, I would say out of the craftable ones is probably the best one. It is solar. And then Come to Pass. I mean, which one does Come to Pass? Have I made that one? Look, Come to Pass. Oh, it's an arc. Oh, yeah, it's an arc one. Yeah. I'd probably rather use Sweet Sorrow, honestly. Both of these are just farmable. This one you get in a quest, super easy to get. Sweet Sorrow is Season of the Risen. Same thing, you got to farm the activity, but you can get a daily of this. Same thing, get it really quick. Come to Pass, I think that was just like a general quest too. Either way. Bows, if I had to pick out of all these, do the Fell Terradiddle. It's a drop from the Wells. Not Wells, Altar. It's a drop from Altar. Don't have to get a lot of these. Really good bow. It's a primary slot. And then secondary, definitely under your skin. Really strong bow. This thing hits like a fucking truck. Actually, one of my favorite bows. I wish it was a little bit faster, but because it hits like a truck, I'm okay with it. But this thing is fucking god tier. Caesar the Risen, same thing. Got to farm it. Hand cannons. If I had to pick, I would say get Zyoli's Bane. It is great for solar builds because it can get incandescent. But you do have to farm King's Fall for it. So it's like, if you don't want to farm any raids, because Posterity is okay. But I would say Ostringer, that is from Season of the Haunted. Same thing, you can get this on a daily basis with the red border from the vendor. Again, you have to have the resources. If you don't have them, farm Containment. Pulse rifles, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good ones. Insidious, really good arc, special pulse, but you have to farm Val the Disciple. Peace of Mind, Season and Risen one, very easy to get. Same thing, got to farm the activity. The BXR, this was Dares of the Eternity. This is supposed to be basically the Halo BR, essentially. But you can farm Dares of Eternity, get the drops from there. A really good solar one. I would say same thing, really good for solar builds. Really good for nade build for Warlocks. Really, 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 really good. Revision 0, this is the seasonal exotic that just came out. I actually really like this. The thing hits like a truck with its special ability. If you can get it, get it. I mean, you could probably get it before the end of the season very easily. Not a big deal. So, and then Disparity. This is okay. This is the first craftable pulse primary slot. So I got it. I leveled it up. A lot of these I'll level up to level 20 because that's when you can get the max stats on everything. And then I'll just put them away in case they become relevant at some point. Not required by any means to get this one, but this is just the seasonal one. This season, I actually just accidentally got it. It's okay. I haven't used it a whole lot, but I'm sure if I had a stasis build, it'd be really good because then you could get stasis shards, get special, get added stasis damage. It'd probably be really good. It's probably really good in like GMs and stuff like that. If you have a stasis build, let's say you were running Ozymancy turret builds with Warlock, this would probably be really good. Scout rifles, the craftable ones, I would say trusty. Tarnished metal. Well, this is the easiest one to get, the tarnished metal. This is the seasonal from Season of the Plundered. Same thing. You can go to the vendor, buy it daily. Really good one. These are both raid ones. This is from King's Fall, and this is from Deepstone Crypt. Same thing. If they're in rotation, you can farm the shit out of them. I just got to find out which boss it drops from, or you can just farm them every single week. I just got these in doing the challenges and running after the emblem on King's Fall. So a lot of these I just got as I was doing it. I farmed this last week with Deepstone Crypt. These other ones, they're okay. Sidearms, the only one worthwhile. Brigand's Law, Season of the Plundered, same thing. You can get on a daily. Really good because it has Jolt Shot. Same thing with the this one, Tarnished Metal, has Jolt Shot on it. These have a lot of things that go with builds with certain subclasses, so solar, arc, even void right here. But yeah, this one's really good for arc with Jolt Shot. Submachine Guns, Osteo's great. That was an exotic for Witch Queen. Submission, really, really good one. Actually, one of my favorite submachine guns. I don't really use it that often, but it's still one of my favorites. I just love the way it feels. It's smooth. It feels so fucking smooth. This was from Val the Disciple. Same thing, gotta farm it. So, Callus Smithing Tool, must get. Must get. Same thing with Ikilos. Ikilos and Callus, must get. This was this current season, so you can get this now. Same thing, you can buy the red border every single day. You can get this pretty quick. Callus Mini Tool, same thing. Season of the Haunted, must get. Their god tier. Their god tier submachine gun. Hold on. Okay. But yes, those are god tier submachine guns. Definitely get. Forensic Knight's supposed to be really good in PvP. This one I just leveled up. Same thing. Osteo is just an amazing exotic, great for ad clearing. And then I would say that's it for gear. As far as exotics for each class, I'm gonna go through, and there's a bunch of them, right? Like there's a bunch of weapons that you can get. Prioritize, I would say, high DPS ones. Let's just go through them. As far as exotic kinetics, I would say if you were going to go after one thing, or if you have time, go through multiples. I would probably say, because some of these you can get through questing, so I'm not going to really worry about it. Wither Hoard, I would say, is a must, and Izanagi's. Everything else, I would say, take a backseat out of those two. I would say get Izanagi's first, and then get Wither Hoard. And then for my third pick, I would say Outbreak Perfected. Just because there are some fights where if it takes a lot of DPS to kill something, you'll run out of ammo for special and heavy. Outbreak Perfected is really good for building up super, so you can build up your super quicker and do more DPS. This was really great day one for the Caretaker. When Val the Disciple came out, a lot of people had this. So when they ran out of ammo, they would just hot swap into Outbreak. This is a really good one too. I I would say those three take precedence over anything else. If you have the time, I would also try to get Arbalist. This is really good for barrier champions. Everything else you can get away with just kind of getting on your own time. Not a big rush. That's for kinetic. Energy. Let's see. Ariana's Vow is really good for barrier champions. I don't even know. Divinity, you have to do Garden of Salvation. It's a really long quest, pain in the ass. Luckily, I did it when it came out, so it wasn't that hard. Divinity is absolutely just always going to be awesome. Actually, there's not really a lot of these that I would say. Maybe Trinity Ghoul, because they're going to be changing how this interacts with champions. So that's probably going to get a lot more play in Lightfall. Honestly, that's really it. I mean, a lot of these I could say you get away with not having, but Divinity for sure, if you can do it and you have the time to farm Garden of Salvation. It's kind of a long quest, but there are still people who do it. If you want to look for a Sherpa or exotic quest, there are people every once in a while. You just got to get lucky with that. But if I had to choose, I would say, yeah, get Ariana's Vow and Trinity Ghoul. Those would be my two picks. Divinity, if you can work it in there, definitely. Top three for heavy. Oh, this is going to be really tough. Absolute must-haves. Well, Gallahorn, 100%. Have to have it. It's just going to be really good to have. Some people will run it, but actually there's going to be enough people that have it. You may not need that. So maybe not. Okay. Xenophage. Xenophage, I would say for sure. Definitely get that. Something that you can easily get. 1,000 voices. You got to get lucky with that. See, Xenophage, Gallahorn, and Parasite. Those would probably be my top three picks because those are going to be DPS oriented. Anarchy, if you can get it, that's also, I just bought this with an exotic, what do they call it? I just bought that with an exotic cipher. You can go to the exotic terminal and buy them. A lot of these exotics that I'm mentioning, you can buy them through the exotic terminal. Gallahorn, I believe there's a quest for that. Parasite, there's a quest. Xenophage and Anarchy, you can just buy with the exotic cipher. Divinity, you actually have to quest for. Exotic cipher. Ariana's Vow is exotic cipher as well. I'm just going back through the ones. Exotic cipher. Izanagi's exotic cipher. Witherhoard, exotic cipher as well. Those are all exotic cipher. Now for armor, we're going to start with Titan. Must have that you would probably always want to get over anything else. Heart of Venomous Light, fucking god tier. Amazing for any kind of content. If you want to do DPS, I would say definitely go for Curious of the Falling. Probably one of the best, if not still one of the best DPS supers in the game. Thunder Crash, this greatly increases damage. I would say those two. And then my third pick, I'd probably go with Helm of Saint 14. Just mainly because your Ward of Dawn gives you extra void shields, which is really, really nice. Lori Leaf, you can swing it. Yeah, that'd be it. Everything else you can get away with not having. Hunter, I know, just right off the bat, Star Eater Scales, god tier, works for so many builds. It works for every single subclass. Absolutely amazing. If you want to do in-game content or just more damage, Omnioculus and Gear Falcons, you can farm those from Legend. Lost Sectors. I'm trying to think of anything else. Aeon Swifts are going to be good for every single class. Those you can get for every single one of them. Those are really good if you're having trouble with ammo and you need more heavy. Those are really good, but not necessary. The only other one that I would probably mention would be Celestial Nighthawk, just because with the Solar Gunslinger, it's really good for high damage. It's going to be really good for just quick, short damage if it's that type of fight. That would be it. So it's, again, I'd probably say Celestial, and you can get that with an exotic cipher, and then Star Eater Skills. You can get this from a Lost Sector, a Lost Sector. Same with these two. You can get these from the Lost Sector. Both really, really, really good exotics. And then for the Warlock, this is tough because this is what I play the most. I would say what I use the most for sure is, because of the grenade build and it's so strong, Starfire Protocol. I would say Phoenix Protocol is really good to have. And then Luna Factions. Top 3, would pick those over anything else. I use other ones more, but those are going to be my top picks because Luna Factions are going to be really good for DPS. Just because of what it does and its effect. You can get this with an exotic Cypher or exotic engrams. Phoenix and Starfire Protocol. Pretty sure you can get both of these with Lost Sectors. Let me double check real quick. Lost Sector. Yeah, I don't believe those are Lost Sector exotic. Either way, those would be my top 3 picks. And then I got to say that that's pretty much it. Trying to think if there's anything else that I miss. See, I have my Gear Falcon. It's really good for DPS. Resources. I mean, you don't even really need these anymore. You turn these in for just Glimmer at this point. Obviously, having raid banners is going to be helpful. The more enhancement cores, all this stuff. I've just been playing, especially this past expansion. This is the most I've ever played. I've actually built up a healthy amount of everything, so I don't really need anything. Obviously, the more you can have of something, the better. Spoils, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, shards, alloys, and exotic cipher. I always like to keep one on hand in case something that I need is really good and I want to buy it. I'll go show you where you can buy these at. Actually, we'll go to the helm because the helm's really quick to load. But there's also a little place where you can go to this in the city as well. But I'm going to show you in the helm. Let's see here. All right. So I'm just going to show you this, and then that's probably going to be it. And then we'll call it a day. I'm just going to show you where the terminal's at so you can buy exotics. So we'll just get in here. Let me do this. Actually, it's fine. All right. So there's a terminal. That's quest terminal. Oh, maybe it's not here. Okay. Maybe it's only in. Okay. Maybe it's only at the tower. Never mind. We got to go to the tower. We're going to show you at the tower. Okay. But basically at this terminal, you can get the spin your exotic ciphers and then usually some resources and buy a specific exotic from the past or sometimes current season, depending. And then you get these exotic ciphers and you can technically do this weekly, but Xur will give you a quest to get one and you have to do certain things to get it. But you can get one basically every single week. So you can actually get an exotic unlock every single week if you're farming. So technically, if you really wanted to, you could get, some really good ones between here and Lightfall. But see, yeah, it has everything broken down. So you see it has exotic from this season, the Witch Queen. It has stuff from Beyond Light, stuff for, Shadow Keep, Forsaken, and then, and you can just buy whatever you want, right? And then you can also buy legacy gear as well if there's something else you want to buy. But yeah, pretty much where you go to buy those, and it's right here in the tower, just right in between your vault area. But yeah, I guess that's going to do it for me. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay spicy out there.